Welcome to this episode of I Don't Know Jack About Parenting, where I want to pose a question. Would you buy a weapon for a young child or from a young child? We'll talk about that in this episode.
So the big question is this: how are parents like us, who don't have a manual, who are doing the best we can, who feel as though we aren't enough, how are we going to raise healthy, happy children who we are proud of and still keep our sanity in that process? That's the question, and this podcast will give you the answers. My name is Ryan Roy, and welcome to I Don't Know Jack About Parenting, a podcast for parents who are being real with themselves.
Hey, welcome back to this episode of I Don't Know Jack About Parenting, where today I want to share with you an entrepreneurial story of my 7-year-old. And we'll talk about this in a little bit in a couple episodes, but he loves video games, I think, which a lot of kids his age do. He is motivated to acquire more video games because mommy and daddy don't necessarily want to invest. I don't know that would be a word. Spend more money on these things that we don't want him spending a great deal of time on anyway. So he's motivated in his own way. Way back, many episodes ago, I talked about how my kids made $200 one day. He has a savings account, and he, for lack of a better term, in his mindset right now, he's a spender, right? He doesn't have to earn the money, so and it's there, so why not spend it? So I told him he can't spend all of his money. That's in a savings account for a reason. If he wanted to acquire something, he needed to earn it. So he started coming up with businesses. And just so you know, the first time he had his own business was when he was 5. And we had a lemonade stand, and he did quite well over a summer period, even though we went out only 3 or 4 times with his lemonade stand. But he doesn't want to sell anything for $1 anymore. He's like, $1, Dad. It's like I gotta sell 100 glasses of lemonade just to get $100. And what he doesn't understand is ROI, or return on investment. He didn't understand that Daddy's footing the bill for the lemonade and the cups and everything. He doesn't understand all that goes into creating a cup of lemonade that costs virtually nothing, even to me, and how much money he returns on that. He gets like 700 times Dad's money. Anyway, I'll digress because I could get into the business aspect of this, and you can see where his entrepreneurial spirit comes from. So the other day, it's been gloomy, the weather's been bad, and he's had it in his mind that he's gonna sell. He's been grabbing sticks from the yard, going into the woods grabbing sticks. He made me get him a roll of duct tape. I did not know why. He's been sticking these sticks together and making wooden weapons. I said, what are we making all these wooden weapons for? And some of them are pretty elaborate and cool. He's like, Dad, when we have a good day, I'm going to sell them. We're going to go over to the park where there's a lot of kids, and I'm going to sell them. And I didn't know they were weapons at first. And I said, well, how much are you going to sell them for? He's like, I need $100, Dad. So I think $10. I'm going to spend $10. I'm going to charge people $10, and I only need 10 customers. See, he's starting to think, if I sell a higher ticket item, I could get my money faster, which I like. And he's spending time up front, right? He's willing to make these materials. So I said to him, we finally had a nice day. We were out and about. We were doing things around town, and he says, Dad, it's a good day to go to the park. And I was like, I don't know if there's going to be kids at the park or not. It's finally a little sunny, but maybe people are doing other things. Needless to say, we live right next to a park. He looks across. There's like 20 kids and the parents, simply because it had been raining for days and days and days. Not only has it been raining, it's been cold. So people wanted to get out. People had cabin fever. this is so great. He says, Dad, can we go over now? I got like 4 weapons that I have made, and I'm going to go sell them for $10 each. And he grabbed his lemonade sign, which we still have, and he says, yeah, I just want to advertise on the back of this sign. That way we could have 2 businesses. I could advertise lemonade or the weapon business. So I really don't want him to destroy the sign. He spent a lot of time on it. We spent a lot of time on it. It looks great. And I was like, you know what? This is your idea, but I want you to know that this is your business. Daddy doesn't necessarily want to sell weapons, nor do I think that it's the best business for your market, your target market, which is young kids. And more importantly, the kids' parents, right? Because they have the money. So he starts making his sign, and his sign says, wooden weapons for sale. And then he puts on there, no more than $10. And I was like, or maximum $10. Like, hey, you don't have to pay me any more than $10. And I said, well, how much do you want? He's like, I want $10. I said, well, didn't you make the price $10? I said, but I don't know. And he's like, Dad, trust me. Trust me, Dad. This is what his exact words. Trust me, Dad. I can do this. People are going to buy these weapons. So then I said to him, I said, listen, most moms and or dads don't want their kids to have weapons. Why don't we just call them wooden toys? Dad, they're weapons. This is your business, right? He's like, yep. So I'm going to let you do what you're going to do. I said, who's bringing all this stuff over to the park? He goes, well, you're going to help me. I said, but you're doing the selling. I'm not doing the selling. This is not a lemonade stand. This is not my business. This is your business. And I want you to do it. And he's like, so it's funny. We have again, it's right behind our home is this park. And so some of our neighbors are there. And I think it's great that this is what went down, because we put the sign out. It's a big, huge sign, by the way. And he lays the weapons out on the table, or the toys, or his merchandise, however you want to put it. And the first person who comes up happens to be some of our neighbors. And they're like, hey, guys, what do you have going on here? And the mom reads the sign, wooden weapons for sale. She goes, I don't think I want my kids to have weapons. I looked down at him. I said, what do you think about that statement? He kind of puts his head down, and he's not really happy. And he goes, I said, don't worry about it. This is a learning experience. So I'm going to back up. I don't know jack about parenting, but I do know that in order for people to succeed, they must fail. Every ounce of me did not want him to go to the park. As a matter of fact, he had to convince me for about a half hour, he was bugging me. He's like, Dad, we got to go to the park. It's a nice day. I don't know when we're going to have another nice day. We have to do this. And I kept, tried to tell him, hey, it can't be a weapons. It should just be wooden toys. And I want him to change the sign. He's like, no, trust me. And every ounce of me was trying to tell him, hey, this sign isn't the best sign. We didn't put any time and energy. We're just throwing a business together. And we don't just throw a business together. Think about when we did the lemonade stand. We set things up for like 2 weeks before we went and bought the materials. We decided on pricing. We made signs. We went and got change at the bank. I said, what if somebody has a $20 bill? I go, you're charging $10 for these. Do you have any change? And I didn't have any change on me or any wallet. He's like, well, then they could just buy 2. I said, no, it doesn't work that way. They don't give you 20 and they could buy 2. What if they don't want 2? They just want 1. You don't have change for them. Then they end up buying none. So we're not prepared. And he's like, Dad, just trust me. And, those words resonated with me. So I don't know jack about parenting, but I knew he had to fail before he succeeded. So we went over there, and he says, listen, how come we're not getting any customers? I said, go up to some people. Tell them what you have to offer. And he was hesitant to do that because he already had one person say, I don't want to buy weapons for my kids. So we stayed there about 10 or 15 minutes. He goes, this wasn't the best idea, was it? I said, here's the thing. It's great that you want to sell something, and it's great that you want to make money. But you got to think about what your people want, not about what you want. We need to serve people, and if you serve people, you're going to make money. I go, you just want money, and you grab some duct tape and some sticks. I go, Christian, here's a stick of some tape. Give me $10 for it. He's like, no, why not? Well, I don't want that. I can make one. It's, aha. Other kids can make sticks with tape. You got to make something that they want, not something they can make themselves. And I think that's when it hit him. So as we were walking back home and we're having this discussion, I told him this. I said, you don't understand. You today already had a success. He's like, what's that, Dad? I don't feel successful. I said, you sold me on the idea of going down there and setting up shop for a wooden weapons, business. That in and of itself is a success, because you were so persistent and you wanted it so badly, you convinced Dad to go down there and sit with you. Now, I gave you some pointers, I gave you some tips, and you didn't want to listen to them. I trusted you enough to let you do this. Do you trust me? Because I want you to have success. He's like, I trust you. I said, so the next business we build, we're going to build so you could have success. Now, I may have shared this in another podcast or not, I don't recall, but he wrote a book. He wrote his first book. And I told him that I think we could sell his book for $10. He doesn't think anybody's going to spend $10 for a 10-page book. I said, written by 2 6-year-olds and said the proper way and going towards the right target market, I think we can sell it for $10, because they're not going to do it to give you $10. They don't want to read the book. They want to support your ideas. So I may, on this podcast, somewhere, somehow, maybe it's in the Facebook, wherever you guys get it, maybe it's underneath the notes on YouTube, when it goes live, I may have a link for you to purchase his book. I think that'd be cool. Anyway, I don't know jack about parenting, but I do know that moms and dads, moms in particular, do not want to buy weapons for their children. As a little entrepreneur, I'm so proud of him for even attempting to sell something, for creating something, for making a sign, for convincing his father to go down and sell something I didn't necessarily believe in, but he believed in it. And that's why I supported him. We'll see you in the next episode.
Do you want to be the dad you wish you had? If so, go get my free book, Be the Dad You Wish You Had, at BeTheDadYouWishYouHad.com. Inside, you'll find my most effective 40 tips to quickly and easily transform yourself into the ideal dad. Go to BeTheDadYouWishYouHad.com now and get it while it's free.